I would just show you guys how I go in on a day-to-day basis and enter in my daily transactions. So clearly not every day do I have a transaction on my bank. I try to do all of my shopping in terms of grocery shopping and household stuff all in one day, and then I try really hard not to go back to the store for a week. I find that the less often that I am in a store, the less money I will spend, obviously. So, for example, today when I'm filming this, it is Monday, and I did all of my grocery shopping for the week today. I went to Walmart, I went to Aldi, I went to Dollar Tree. I also made a stop at Hobby Lobby, and so everything that I spent today obviously needs to be entered into my budget. So I just pull out all of my receipts. If I am not super organized one week and I, toss a receipt on the floor of my car or in the trash or whatever, I just check my bank. That's one really good thing about using a debit card versus cash envelopes. I know that a lot of people use cash envelopes and really enjoy those, but I really like the ease in being able to swipe a card, whether it be at the pump for gas or, in a store or whatever. And I also like that I have my bank statement to be able to look at in case, I missed something, because writing everything down on paper can be tedious. So I have all of my receipts. I'm going to go through, figure out whether what I purchased was groceries or if it was gas or if I used cash, whatever. I actually don't figure out my cash transactions this way. What I do is I go in once a week when I give myself my weekly cash and just enter that in here, and then I stick it in my wallet and I can use it for whatever. So actually, this Hobby Lobby receipt that I have here, I paid with my spending money, so I don't need to enter this in, so that can actually go away. But if I took the money out of sinking funds for something, for example, when I was at Dollar Tree today, I purchased some things for Valentine's Day, which we have a sinking fund for. So I just figure out what all of my transactions are for, and then I go into the back of my planner here, where I have my little stickers that I made for myself, and I can just pull these out. Usually, I have more than one hand to be able to do it. I can pull these out and go back to February in my planner. There we go. And I can pull the stickers that I need. So obviously Aldi is grocery, so I'll look at my little key here and find that grocery is this light purple color, which I'm actually out of on this sheet, but I have more here. So I can pull that and stick it down on the day that I made the transaction, which is today on Monday, and then just write in the total for that. And that is how I keep track of my different transactions. So let me go ahead and do that, and then I'll come back and show you guys, because I didn't set up a tripod for this, unfortunately, so I only have one hand to work with, and I really need two. So I'll be back and show you what I've done. Okay, so I went through and took inventory of all of my receipts, and what I do if I have a receipt from a store that has transactions from multiple categories is I go through and I highlight certain ones. So for example, this is my Dollar Tree receipt from today. I had some transactions on here were for household and grocery, and some of these were for Valentine's Day. Now we have a sinking fund for Valentine's Day, so obviously the Valentine's Day items I want to pay for with the sinking funds. So I just went through and used my yellow highlighter, since yellow is what I use for sinking funds. I know that's a little bit extra. You don't have to do that. I just do because I'm like that. And I figured out that 9 of the dollars that I spent at Dollar Tree were for the sinking funds. Now, you could, of course, do separate transactions at the store if you wanted to. I don't like to be a pain, so a lot of times I won't, especially if we're talking about Dollar Tree. I mean, everything is $1. And I didn't worry about tax. I left the tax on, the part of the transaction that I used for grocery. It doesn't really matter because ultimately all of the money is mine. You know, it's not like I'm splitting this between me and someone else. I just made the decision to include the tax on the grocery portion. So I wrote down on my little yellow sticker for Valentine's here, $9. And then I also have a sinking fund transaction from Walmart today. I bought my great nephew a birthday present, and so I took the total for that and wrote that in under sinking funds as well. And as you can see, I actually put that down on February 3rd, even though today is February 4th, because I ran out of room on February 4th. Sometimes I do that, but ultimately I know as long as it's all there in the month, it doesn't really matter. But when I do my weekly check-ins, I know that some transactions are on Sunday and need to be counted for the whole week. While I was at Aldi today, when I purchased my groceries, I got $10 cash back to add to my pocket money. You know, I get $10 a week, so I put $10 in cash for me here, and then the rest of that Aldi receipt is on a grocery sticker, so I can keep track that I spent $46.48 at Aldi. I spent $58.30 at Walmart, and the portion of the Dollar Tree transaction that was for grocery and household was $17.99. So that's all my groceries for the week, all on my little grocery stickers. And that's just kind of how I keep track. Also today, while I was out, I made the decision that I don't need gas for the week. I still have a full tank from when I gassed up last week. And if you watched my, I think it was a January budget video, I talked about how we give ourselves $50 a week to do gas, and we fill up the tank, and if there's any money left over, we stick that money in the gas fund, because we drive a lot more in the summertime, and so obviously $50 might not necessarily be enough in a week in the summertime when we're going back and forth to our campground and stuff like that. We're just driving more. We're kind of hermits in the winter and don't go anywhere. So this week, because I didn't put gas in my truck at all, it was still full, I decided to use the full $50 to put into the gas fund, which is a cash envelope that I keep here at home in my safe so that it stays safe and so that we can use it come summertime. So I made that decision today, but I won't actually go to the bank until tomorrow to pull the gas fund money out. So I just stuck it down on tomorrow and used my little pink gas sticker and wrote that it's going to go to the gas fund, $50. So hopefully that explains a little bit about how I do it. And then when I am doing my weekly check-in at the end of the week, I can look at all of the transactions and add everything up. And then I can simply turn to the page in my planner here and keep track of everything that I'm keeping track of on my weekly check-in. So that is basically how I keep track of my transactions on paper. This is not a new concept. It's actually something that I have seen other people here on YouTube do. That's where I got the idea. I will link a couple channels that do a similar thing here to give them credit where credit's due, because this definitely was not a unique idea, but it just kind of helps me visualize when things are, you know, color-coded and laid out this way. It's super easy for me to know that you know, if I add up the yellow stickers, I can figure out exactly what I spent on sinking funds this week or month or whatever. And sinking funds, you know, I just kind of keep track of the sinking funds that we're going to be maybe pulling from in the month. This is just kind of how I do it to make it super easy for me to reference. So I know for Valentine's Day, I have $50 to spend. I've only spent $9, so I can still potentially spend $41 on Valentine's Day stuff before Valentine's Day hits. And it just makes it super easy that way. You guys know that we do our sinking funds in one big lump account. We don't keep separate accounts for our sinking funds. We don't necessarily keep super strict track of our sinking funds. I will link my sinking funds video for you, but I do like to have like a basic idea. So I know that we are probably going to get my dog groomed at some point in February, and I have set aside $50 for that. I may or may not need an oil change. This is just like basic, at a glance, sinking funds. I do have a whole page for sinking funds elsewhere in my planner. But yeah, that's it. I'm just rambling now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe so that you never miss a video. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.